The most dangerous untruths are truths slightly distorted. I spoke these words in a time before your global networks, before satellites circled the heavens whispering signals to every handheld oracle, before your world became tangled in webs of invisible light. And yet, I see now how my words echo louder in your age than in mine. In my day, untruths often arrived clothed in crude fabric, superstition, rumor, tyranny's blunt force. But today, falsehood wears a finer garment. It is stitched from the very threads of reality, altered by only a fraction, and presented with conviction. The result? A lie you cannot easily detect because its skeleton is true. This is the most insidious form of deception, not the lie that stands boldly apart from fact, but the one that stands near enough to resemble it. That's the peril of partial truth. It satisfies the intellect just enough to disarm inquiry. In my time, we fought with pamphlets and philosophy. I used wit, reason, and satire to challenge the dogmas of power. But in your time, the challenge has grown far more complex. You are not simply bombarded by falsehoods. You are awash in carefully engineered fragments of truth, sliced, edited, reframed, and served to confirm your most convenient beliefs. You do not suffer from a lack of information. You suffer from its weaponization. When a truth is slightly distorted, it becomes more potent than a blatant lie. A lie can be spotted, challenged, refuted. But a twisted truth travels like a trusted guest. It bypasses your filters. It parades as knowledge, as justice, as common sense, and it erodes your confidence not only in others, but eventually in truth itself. You ask me how it applies to your world? Look to your headlines, your social networks, your leaders. Consider how a statistic can be technically accurate yet morally bankrupt in its presentation. Consider how history can be taught through a national lens that highlights glory and omits guilt. Consider how freedom can be spoken as a virtue while being used to justify oppression. These are not outright lies. These are truths with a limp, half walking toward understanding, half stumbling into distortion. So, what must be done? First, you must reclaim discernment. Not the reflex to react, but the discipline to reflect. Do not rush to share what stirs your heart until you have examined it with your mind. Second, seek the whole picture. Beware any claim that arrives without context, without complexity. Reality is rarely simple. Truth is often paradoxical. If what you are told feels too tidy, too affirming, too perfect, it is likely polished beyond honesty. Third, cultivate intellectual humility. The mind that believes it cannot be deceived is already deceived. It is better to approach knowledge as a gardener, tending it with care, pruning error, allowing new shoots of thought to grow, than as a conqueror, stamping your certainty upon the world. Finally, hold this as your inner compass. When a truth has been bent, even slightly, bend not with it. Straighten it, reframe it, return it to its full integrity. The future of your civilization depends not on your ability to invent new truths, but to protect the old ones from distortion. In your time, as in mine, the peril is not that people believe nothing, but that they believe too easily. And remember, a shadow looks most like its object when the light is dim. So bring the light, keep it steady, and above all, make sure it is bright enough to reveal the whole of things, not merely the part that flatters your view. That, dear reader, is how one honors truth in an age of distortion.